Okay, I'm live and Sleepy Dave is here. Let's see if clearing the cache will make any difference. Cache does. Oh, poor Kelly Thomas was beaten to death by 3 police officers in Anaheim. It was caught on video with murder. The jury acquitted them. Why? Because they're. And Kelly Thomas was a white boy. So it didn't make such a big splash. Victim's name, but the LAPD beat. All right, I better answer this. Hello. Bleach. Thank you. Bye. Oh, that figures. Pop out chat. See if that helps. Anyways, that's when the riot was. Some Los Angeles police officers beat up a ticket. Driving community. Damn black ghetto. But most of them worked at the docks down in Long Beach. Most of the men in Long Beach have made a good living. They took the red car to work. Goodyear and, well, the buses took longer to get there and didn't run on a schedule that would get men to and from 1,000 subscribers, and I'm not monetized, so I'm not important. So when they're low on bandwidth, they cut my feed. Anyway, so Watts was pretty much destroyed because so many young black men were put out of work. A woman with children could not get welfare if. So they destroyed the family by forcing the men to move out, so at least the wife and children could get. And do you know what happens when a young man is raised without a father? A young boy needs a man, and a young woman needs a father too. We learn how to treat others in our families. And I became a single parent much too early when my son's father passed away, and my son was not quite 9 years old. I tried to find other male role models, but he did go kind of wild for a while, but now he's a good man. I'm sorry if the stream cuts out a lot. I'll just do what I can. I can't stay on too terribly long anyway. This is the week when I clear out the kitchen and some nice friends come and demolish the old cabinets so I can put in new ones. I have the cabinet for the kitchen sink and a new sink and faucet. I'm not understanding. Oh, turn down my camera resolution. I don't know how to do that. I'm not a Luddite, but I don't know a whole lot. Let's see. Here's a picture of a camera. If I click on it, nothing happens. Uh, okay. There, here we go. What's 144p? Oh, yeah, I have it on low resolution somehow. I don't know why. Anyway, I've got a better background than in the past. You can see a few of my books. Believe me, that's just a small fraction of them. Oh, things are going wonky on me. I use a real mouse. I could manage a mouse pad when it had buttons for right click and left click, but these new ones don't have those buttons, so I put a real mouse on the computer. A real one. I tried a wireless mouse, but it still takes up a USB port and the battery goes dead. So I got the mouse with the tail. Yeah, it's really hard for a young man who doesn't have a father to look up to. Fortunately, my son did have a good relationship with his father while he was young. And so he had his mental image of what would dad say? What would dad do? Um, that was helpful. And Phil was a very good father to his children. He just wasn't allowed to spend much time with his daughters. Their mothers didn't trust him. And that's another story, but let's just say that Phil was slandered by someone who didn't like him. As I was slandered by people who didn't like me, I'm sure they still say all kinds of stupid, mean, false things. I try not to pay attention. Isn't worth my time. Ah, I was going to wear my dentures, I forgot, but that's okay. I can still talk pretty well. Okay, 1965. So all these young men who have no jobs and no future, the only chance they have is to join the army and serve in Vietnam, and many did. "1968, there weren't as many riots, but when Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was murdered, there were some riots. And before that, but in the same year, wait a minute. No, I'm I'm hazy on the date. Bobby Kennedy was shot dead in a hotel in California. Yeah, 1992. Rodney King was beaten by police and there was a riot. And the thing is, whoever was rioting was burning down houses in the neighborhoods of Black people. I suspect that they were not the protesters, the ones setting the fires and attacking the firemen when they tried to put out the fires. I suspect we have the same thing now. There's the protesters who are peaceful, and then some outside infiltrators and troublemakers who come in because they think it's fun to burn things down and to loot. They're mostly hitting mom and pop stores, destroying people's lives. Although yesterday some grocery stores were cleaned out and some Walmarts and Targets. In World War I. Oh, the feather wheel didn't kill them. I misunderstood strontium. Yeah, Phil's father, Edgar, Joseph Edgar Dick, lied about his age in order to fight in World War I. And I guess he thought it was better than working on his father's farm in Pennsylvania. But he became a messenger because small and young, he got to ride a motorcycle carrying messages. But he also told Phil about the gas and the fact that the gas mask only worked for half an hour. If the gas didn't clear, you were in big trouble. Scottsdale? Oh no, I have a friend in Scottsdale. She's outside of town, but near there. Well, Edgar fought at Verdun. He was in the Fighting Fifth Marines at Verdun, the worst battle of World War I, and it was probably the worst in World War II. They fought there again, although the Battle of the Somme probably was worse. Verdun is famous mainly because the 5th Marines were green troops. They just had basic training when they were sent over, and they held the line. They did not retreat. Oh, thank you, Philip. The stream is doing much better. Good. Well, anyway, in the 60s and even the 70s, the best prison and make a living was to join the military. Is it a new camera angle? Oh, well, it's new from a couple weeks ago. I turned it 90 degrees so you could see my books, some of my books. There's hundreds more over there and hundreds more in boxes and yeah, let's not jinx it, right? You don't need to read my books. I've read many of them, not all. But here's one of my favorites. America BC by Dr. Barry Fell. There's a newer edition with an editor, but it's basically the same. This one is a new and revised and updated edition. But there's a newer one, but they're basically the same. America BC looks at inscriptions, writing. And I love the way it has charts of the ancient alphabets, including, like, come on. This one. It also has runes. What is this? This is examples of Iberian inscriptions from North America on the left and from Europe on the right. That's alphabetic writing. You know, letters, alphabet. Runes are just might just look like scratches on a rock, like these. There's all kinds of photos and illustrations too. It's really awesome. And he was a tenured professor, Barry Fell. He's no longer living. But he traces European writing in North America all the way back to 800 BC. It's by Barry Fell. You can get the newer edition on Amazon or wherever. America BC by Dr. Barry Fell. I think he had other books, but I know this is an awesome book. It's a reference work as well as a good read. Got it? Dr. Barry Fell, America BC. And I have to thank my older and smarter brother Steve for giving me my first copy. Hi, Andu. I think that's how you say that. ANDUEU. Must be French. And it isn't terribly expensive in paperback. America BC. Now I know you're French. In American English, we'd say very good. If you do things very well or your health is very well, it's amazing. Bon can be good or well. You see, English, and then there's our habit of adopting words and phrases from other languages. We have messed up English so badly. But it began when the British tried to impose Latin grammar. It doesn't work. The French, the Germans, the Italians, the Spanish, and Portuguese. Okay, all the Europeans. Dang you, stinking connection unstable. There we go. The English tried. Come on, evil computer. The English tried to impose the grammar of the Romans, inferior. That's why they used Greek. Dang it. I was trying to type, my mouse wasn't in the box. The Romans used Greek for business and law and anything important because they knew their language, Latin, was inferior. And yet the British, who missed the order of the Romans after they tried to impose Roman law, customs, and grammar on the English people. We wouldn't have much English culture and art if it weren't for the Irish. After the Romans kind of left a gap, the Irish came in with their Celtic belief system, culture, art. Bishops decided to become servants of the Pope in Rome. The English Protestants, evil machine. Well, that's it. You have to clear all the stuff out of cupboards and countertop can be demolished. Hardware store and get a couple things to help with putting it back together again. It's going to be like Humpty Dumpty. You know, all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. But an American doctor with patience and glue, something or other as good as new. I don't remember the exact words of the poem. Oh, how the Irish saved civilization, Thomas Cahill. I'll have to look that up. Well, the Irish have been so oppressed by the English and the Americans. I'm just amazed that we don't have Irish ghettos, Irish protests. Well, they've assimilated. They're Americans now. But there's a guy on YouTube that I forget his name, but he's a musician, and one of his called "You're Not Irish," because he came over here singing Irish songs. Well, let's see, it goes. People in the audience didn't understand that he didn't know these songs that are actually American Irish, not Ireland Irish. So it's "You're Not Irish, you can't be Irish, you don't know Danny Boy, or Tura Lura Lura, or even Irish Eyes." Well, those are all American songs. Well, schizophrenia is not necessarily a terribly bad thing. There's worse things. But, hi, Moonlight. I'm getting ready to scoot on out of here and take care of things that need to be done. The hardest part of clearing out my kitchen for the work is that I won't have a kitchen for a few days. And I'm a bad enough cook with a kitchen. Well, thank you, Moonlight. Let's see. Hi, Moon. In German, Moon is der Mond. For some reason, the German mythologies, the sun is a male and the moon is female. So we have moon goddesses and sun gods. You see Helios, the sun god, Artemis, Diana, and others, moon goddesses. I think Minerva too. Very interesting. And then there's St. Catherine of the Wheel. If you want to know more about that, you need to check out Walter Bosley. St. Catherine of the Wheel apparently was a evil machine. St. Catherine of the Wheel was apparently a kind of old pagan goddess. I forget her name. But evil YouTube. There, here we go. But Wanda is world in some language. Perhaps it's I'm trying to type monde in French. Well, anyway, the wheel might represent the sun or the moon. But no, Tessa is a made-up name. Mom always called me Tess, and Phil stuck the A on the end to make it fancy, and it works. Mom would not call me by my Christian name because it was her mother-in-law's name. And on top of that, because my grandmother was named after her father, it's the male spelling, the masculine. My name is Leslie, like Leslie Howard. Girls spell it Lesley. There we go. Anyway, look up Walter Bosley's channel. He has some good stuff too. I try to listen to his channel, and I think he might be doing a live stream this evening around 5:30 or 6. Yeah, Leslie Nielsen, Leslie Howard, Darling. And his son was Thomas Leslie Darling, and his daughter was Leslie Van Brunt Darling. Always makes me wonder if we're related to the family in Peter Pan. Anyway, I really got to scoot. But look for Walter Bosley's channel on YouTube and you'll get all kinds of good stuff. It's more down to earth than what I do. It's mostly what do you call it? Non-religious. Thank you, Moonlight. Thank you. Let's see. Thank you all for listening. And as usual, I wrote some math to let you guys know I didn't drop off the face of the earth, but I just haven't felt like talking in the time of COVID and riots. It really gets me down. But I'll try. Weekends are the worst time for YouTube connections, so I'll try to pick weekdays. And maybe it worked best in the middle of the night. Like, I'll try it again. Okay, let's scoot on out of here.